What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, as you can see, we are back with career mode, and if you haven't seen any of the more recent episodes, we have now won the championship. So we can now pretty much sit back and enjoy the last two episodes that we have left. So in this one, we're going to be starting towards the back once again. However, I am still going to be qualifying because I want to do a comparison between the absolute fastest car that we have right now versus the stock cars that came out with F1 2016. I'll get to that later, but it's time for quali.
Welcome to qualifying here in Interlagos as the cars are readying up for what's likely to be a very important session.
So how are we going to qualify and start at the back, you ask? Well, we're going to go ahead and set the fastest times that we can in qualifying like we do normally, but when we get to the start of the race, we're going to be pulling off to the side and letting everyone go through in the race. I'll get to that later. But yeah, here we are in qualifying. We're doing a 100% race around here in Brazil as well, if I haven't mentioned already. I absolutely love this track. It's always come in clutch for me in league racing. In other career modes, we've won many championships here. And I want to see this track out with a bang, with a 100% race on F1 2016. So now we're in qualifying 3. The pace has been rock solid. Really up there with the pace of Lewis Hamilton, and that's a welcome change because Lewis has just been untouchable in terms of one lap pace the last few rounds, and it's really refreshing to be able to match him at a racetrack now. So half of me is wanting to stay at the front and battle with him, but the other half of me is wanting to see what we can do letting the field go. But here we go for our fastest lap of the weekend, and this will probably undoubtedly be the absolute fastest time we will do around Brazil on F1 2016. 108 is ridiculous pace. It's faster. It's as fast as the best time trial times in the leaderboard. So that's how much faster this car is than the regular Mercedes. It's outrageous. But going through the middle sector now, you know, I've made some tiny mistakes here and there. Turn 4, I rushed in a little bit too fast and probably cost myself a tenth or so there, but at the moment, it's looking fairly solid, about a tenth and a half up on our previous best lap as we head through the middle sector now. This is where we make up a lot of time versus the AI. This traction zone here, absolutely OP against the AI, and I have absolutely no idea why. But going through the final corner now, what I call the final corner, it's the final real corner, a tenth and a half up, still purple as we go through the middle sector, and it looks like we're going to set a time still in the mid to high 108. It's going to be a 108.756, and unfortunately it wasn't enough for pole, but it was very, very close to Lewis Hamilton's time, and yeah, there you go. We are absolutely, I'd say, dead even on pace. You know, 0.04 of a second is literally nothing in terms of a lap time. So in a way, I'm kind of regretting my decision to start from the back for this one, but I want to see what I can do, dropping back down to last place. And what I think I might do as well is wait 20 seconds or something like that, because race pace versus the AI, we always improve, and so if we go by that logic, I should be faster than Lewis in the race. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. 100% race, a lot of time to make up time anyway, and with safety cars, we can be brought right back into the game. So here we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix for the last time on F1 2016. Let's go out there and enjoy it.
As surely as the sun rises in the morning, the Brazilian Grand Prix packs out the grandstands and creates incredible drama. Title deciders, heartbreak, triumph and home glory. All these and more can be found in abundance here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache.
Okay, we've already won the championship, so relax and enjoy this race.
That is exactly what is on the agenda for today's Grand Prix. Welcome to Brazil on the grid, starting in P2. Like I said, we're going to be pulling off to the side and letting the entire field go through for the start of this race. And we're also going to go a bit different as well in the fuel strategy, going 10 laps down in terms of fuel. Because we're going to be starting at the back and we're having to make our way through the field, and because the fuel efficiency in this Mercedes is so good, I still think that we can recover enough fuel to be in the green by the time we get to the race end, and also have a massive advantage in terms of pace by running a car that is, what, 10 laps lighter than everyone else in the field. I believe like a kilo is worth a tenth or 2/10, so if you add that up to over 10 laps, we could be something like a second or more faster than the rest of the field. So I'm looking forward to this one, the Brazilian Grand Prix. All of the cars have now lined up on the grid, so it's time to get this race underway. 5 red lights, and away we slowly pull off. Because, like I said, we're letting everyone go through, and the sooner we can pull off to the side, the sooner we can get on with our race once again. Now, I said I wanted to let everyone go through, but I also wanted to set myself a challenge by letting the field get away from me by about 10, 15, 20 seconds, and now we can get our race underway. I can tell you, when I was doing this at the time, that 10, 15 seconds was the longest wait of my life to get going. I thought, oh, I better get going here, otherwise I'll never recover up this time. But believe me, the AI are so slow in the opening laps, it's quite outrageous. We will be catching them within a few laps. But first lap is run and done, and we're actually going purple to the second and third intermediates there. So looking like in the early stages we have the pace over Lewis Hamilton, who is running out front and with a massive lead. Look at the gap that he's got back to P2. Outrageous. So we've got to do a job here and get through the field as quickly as we can. Already overtaken one car, and it's only lap 2. We gave up 10 plus seconds, and we're not last by lap 2. Let that set in. But either way, around the outside of Asava on the end of lap 2 as well. That's going to be 2 positions in basically one straight. Can we make that 3? Thank you very much, Pascal Verline. See you later, pal. Nice manner. We won the championship 2 seasons ago. And now Manners at the back again. It's outrageous. But either way, we carry on to lap 3 up the inside of Harrianto. We tried to go for the dive there, but he held it bravely around the outside, and we eventually get him back here. So there's a massive train here. Don't know who's at the head of it, but they're going very slowly. They could have some front wing damage, which would explain the massive pile-up that we're having to negotiate at the moment. But look at the difference in speed there. These guys on the hard tyres, some of them at least that Renault was, but the difference in the middle sector at that particular corner and on the exit of the hairpin in the middle sector as well are 2 corners where the AI are absolutely outrageous. And speaking of outrageous, Alonso, your straight line speed, I don't even need to make a joke there. It's clearly there for everyone to see. Look at that, around the outside, on the start-finish straight. It was really just a bottleneck, and I think the Williams and also the Haas were kind of hesitant to overtake. Here's the replay from, is it Felipe Massa? He just gets stuck behind the Haas of Grosjean and just kind of hesitates and lifts off, and whereas we just go flat stick around the outside, DRS and slipstream on everyone, and that was the easiest 3 positions I'll ever make this Grand Prix. But
Some information on Palmer. They've got a
oh dear,
serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Jolyon Palmer is out of the Grand Prix, and this only just happened after I made that triple overtake. There's contact between himself and Grosjean, and Palmer is out of the Grand Prix after 4 laps. Yeah, I mean, that's not really avoiding action, is it? You've just driven straight into the front, into his left front tyre and expected him to disappear. Well, that's not the case. It's never going to happen, and that is some scary hang time from the Renault there. But thankfully for Grosjean, he didn't even get a front wing. He barely got any damage there. It was all just superficial. Only the loss of time, really, which is quite outstanding considering the price that Jolyon Palmer paid in that incident. But we carry on to lap 5. Overtook Jenson Button. The McLaren Hondas up against the fully upgraded Mercedes. It makes the McLaren Honda look like a road car in a straight line. It looks like they're trying to stick to speed limits, and we're on a racetrack here. Up to P11, Esteban Gutierrez. He's the first car we picked off in this new train of cars. Next up is Kvyat. Let's hopefully get him up the inside. We could have, but I think if we would have went for that move, it would have compromised our exit onto this long start-finish straight, and that would have made our progress, it would have hampered it a little bit onto the next lap. So we waited for DRS, a bit of slipstream, Probably the quickest way to get through this field is to, you know, not rush it, just see where the openings are and just pick your lines and pick your battles, really. But here we go, picking another one. This is up the inside of, what, 3 cars? Both the Force Indias and a Williams of Bottas. So the overtakes are coming thick and fast here today, guys. This is an absolute lesson that we're getting up to P7. And now that we're starting to open up in terms of track position and just track space, hopefully we can start to make some inroads on Lewis and get some fastest laps of the Grand Prix in the process. That is, of course, if the tyres are still in a decent position. Now, look up ahead. You can see Raikkonen really struggling in P5. He's on the hard compound tyres. Now, if I remember correctly, he made it to Q3. So there's absolutely no way that he should be starting on those tyres. That's definitely a glitch. And Vettel has got hard tyres on as well. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's almost like Parc Fermé rules have been turned off or something. The tyre rules have just been switched off and everyone's just going hell for leather on whatever tyres they want. Verstappen's on the hard compound tyres as well.
Low chance of rain now. If the situation changes, we'll let you know.
So, yeah, I really don't know what's going on here. I can confirm that Lewis Hamilton is on the softs, and he might be the only other person in the top 10, or at least, you know, amongst the front runners who are actually on the tyre that they're supposed to be on. So I don't know what's going on here. These guys are going to be running a very long way into this race, probably 30 or 40 laps before they need to dispose of those tyres, and that could benefit them if we have any rain, which I believe the engineer just said we won't be having any, so we'll wait and see on that. It's only lap 13 and things can definitely change in the meantime, but here's an overtake on Vettel, and now Verstappen making a mobile chicane of those guys. I probably made that look a little bit more dangerous and risky than what it really needed to be, but we've taken P4. Next up is Verstappen. He gets a really bad run on the hard compound tyres, and now with us 2 compounds softer than theirs, it's really just academic and such an easy 2 places to get, considering the pace disadvantage that those guys have at the moment. Vettel actually gets back up the inside of Verstappen as well, by the way. Those 2 go on hammer and tong in the opening stint of this race. So lap 15 now, we're coming into the realms of the pit window, and I think from memory we could go onto the medium tyres, but I think we might go back onto the hards. That's contact between myself and Vettel as we head into turn 4. That gives the place back to Verstappen, and he gets back onto the podium. But here's the replay. You can see I'm just defending hard from Vettel, and at the time he kind of just turned in a bit early, and the moment that we made contact, I just couldn't turn left anymore. The car would just understeer like crazy, and there was nothing I could really do about that but carry on. So yeah, a bit frustrating considering I am so much quicker than these guys, and my tyres now are starting to really drop off, so I'm kind of falling into their pace once again. So this could be an interesting little battle here. As you can see there, Verstappen's so slow in that left-hander, and then this corner here is another one where the AI are just ridiculously slow, and we take advantage of that and move ourselves back onto the podium before possibly going for a pit stop. Yes, we are. So it's lap 16 now, and we're going to jump onto the hard compound tyres. Now, I can always guess what the comments are going to be like right now. Like, Ben, is this ultimate difficulty? Yes, it is. I had to check that myself, considering the pace difference between myself and some of the guys we've overtaken already, and it is on ultimate. It's just that we're on the softs, and a lot of people on hards, and the fact that we're running with a car that is ridiculously underfueled gives us a massive pace advantage. But we're going to have to compromise our race a little bit in this section of the race by saving a lot of fuel. We will do that anyway because the Mercedes is so good at fuel conservation. But now we've skipped forward about 10 laps, and this is Lewis pitting in for a set of medium tyres. That was actually his second stop of the race. He stopped around lap 14, put on a set of softs, and now he stopped again on lap 29 and is putting on the mediums. He can't go to the end from here, so I'm guessing he's going to have to stop again and probably go mediums again. So this is going to be an interesting little strategy here. He's rejoined just in front of me, and my hopes are to hopefully get in a slipstream and hopefully him carry me forward in this race. But unfortunately that never happened. Lewis had mega pace on fresh medium tyres, and us on the hards, we were just stroking the car along and trying to do the best job we could. Our pace was very consistent, but we were just slow, which, you know, was not ideal because it started to invite the guys like Verstappen, Raikkonen, Vettel, and Ricciardo back into the fight once they made their first pit stop. Lap 35, halfway through this Grand Prix now, and like I said, the guys who just stopped have all put on medium tyres and going to be looking very strong up against me on older, hard compound tyres. So Ricciardo gets a sniff up the inside. I had nothing really to fight with there, so I let him go. Unfortunately, couldn't stay with the slipstream, and now Vettel gets up my inside as well. Again, like nothing I can do. I could probably try and hold it around the outside, but get shoved out to dry and lose even more time. So it's lesser of the two evils there. Verstappen tries to have a go, but unlike the others, wasn't up alongside far enough, and we managed to hold on to that position for now. I'm going to battle. I'm going to try and hold on to my position, but if it comes to the detriment of lap time, then it's not worth it. We're not battling the likes of Verstappen, Vettel, or Ricciardo. We're battling Lewis Hamilton, and I'm trying to get back at him later on in the race by running the fastest Grand Prix that I can right now. I know that Lewis is going to be running on the mediums, and he might be compromised in terms of tyre wear later on, but if we get this hard compound tyre out of the way now and bolt on the mediums with about 20 laps to go, then we'll be golden. We can chase down Lewis. I know I have the pace, so it's just down to that final stint of the race, just being close enough to Lewis to have a go. I think he's like less than 10 seconds away, so it's still possible to win this Grand Prix. I've just got to keep up the lap times, keep up the consistency, and make sure we keep Lewis in the crosshairs. That's a bit of contact up the inside of Gutierrez there, but thankfully we managed to get away with it. Team radio.
Lewis is in first position. P1 okay, distance to teammate 8.8 seconds.
So there you go, 8 seconds to Lewis Hamilton. Even though we're in P5 at the moment, you know, we're still within striking distance if we can fit on the medium tyres and just have amazing pace for the back end of the Grand Prix. Maybe even if the guys in front of me have cracking pace, they could even catch up to Lewis and slow him down by battling, and it would make for a very interesting Grand Prix. But while I'm talking about strategy, you can see we're lapping a lot of cars, and this becomes a major issue in 100% races, to the fact where it might affect the AI more than what it affects me, and that could bring down the gap as well, which will only make the battle that much more interesting. But we're into the pits now, lap 49 of 71. This race has just been flying by. Absolutely love Brazil. I could do laps around this place all day, but fitting on the medium tyres now, it was our recommended pit window, so I didn't want to stay out any longer. I wanted to get on the mediums as quickly as I could, and I think we'll have about a lap or two's undercut on Lewis Hamilton, who's scheduled to come in around the same time, because he did stop, I don't know, about 20 laps ago for mediums, and mediums will only do around 25 laps at maximum. But now we're banging in the fastest laps, trying to narrow that margin to myself and Lewis by the time he eventually makes his final pit stop, and I don't know if he has yet. If not, he will be doing it soon, and he will have fresher tyres, so it's going to be down to me to chase down Lewis, even though he's got fresher tyres and mega car pace. And as we actually say that, Lewis is into the pits right now, so this is going to be a very crucial part of the race now to see where we rejoin versus our teammate. Was it Hulkenberg getting tangled up with Massa there? He spins into the infield, and Massa might be having a penalty heading his way. Lewis comes out of the pits, fitted on the medium tyres just like we predicted, and now this is going to be very telling in terms of our race standings. Lewis going through turn 2 and 3 already, as we only go through turn 1 now. That was not as close as what I was hoping it to be. I was hoping it to be within 5 seconds, but it looks like the gap is probably a lot more than that, and now we've encountered more traffic. Rio Harriento, Vettel really slow on the exit of the hairpin. Once again, the AI have been slow here all day, and we try and make the most of it there, but nothing really comes of that. Again, slipstream DRS on Vettel, and that's us into P4 with, 15 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. Gutierrez, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? And the AI, may I say, have been absolutely dreadful for you know, acknowledging the blue flags today. They are insistent on letting us go through in the middle of corners, which is the absolute worst place to let someone go through. But 13 laps to go now. Ricciardo and Verstappen have pitted on to soft compound tyres, and you can see there, like, the pace difference is outrageous. So I decided once Ricciardo was up my inside, just let him go and see. Like, this strategy hasn't worked for me so far yet, but hopefully stick with him and just give it everything I've got to stay within Ricciardo's slipstream. He's setting fastest laps of the Grand Prix, and thankfully enough, we were actually able to stick with him for the opening 2 or 3 laps of his stint, and that's going to be very telling. So long as we can keep this up, it should get easier to stay with Ricciardo as his tyres slowly start to go off the cliff. But like that's going to be happening, we can still hope though. But the whole goal of staying with Ricciardo was really just to stay with him and hope that with his pace we could slowly start to catch up to Hamilton, which it was working up until the point where we encountered that batch of lap traffic. As soon as we hit lap traffic, the AI just crap themselves and we lose so much time. I just had to take the initiative and get up the inside of Ricciardo. And again, Perez, just a few corners later, blocks us again. Now at this point, with Ricciardo now behind us and getting held up by Perez, it looks like he's going to go for a move here as well. He's a lap down. What are you doing, man? With this, I think that's the chance of the win out the window.
Oh man, I just cannot believe this. Fuck this.
Okay, have a look to the traffic behind. Box, Kevin, box.
Safety car deployed. The safety car has been deployed. Watch your delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack.
Well, I say that is the race completely out the window, but literally 60 seconds later, we have the retirement of Kevin Magnussen, which brings out the safety car with 6 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. We have been slugging it out so much over the course of the day, and now it all comes down to this. A late safety car. We could have stayed out and been in P2 and had a direct shot at Lewis Hamilton for the victory, but I don't think we would have pulled it off on the medium tyres. Our pace was not looking good, so I think the option tyres was the only option.
Conditions to remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes.
And so, with the threats of rain completely dissipated for this race, the only thing separating us and Lewis Hamilton for the lead of this race is a few measly Red Bulls and a couple of lap cars. Can we do it? I'm going to give it everything. We've got 3 laps to go after this green flag lets us get back underway. We can directly attack Vettel, which is what we're going to go for now on this restart. Hopefully a lap car can hold him up just ever so slightly as we go into turn 1. Grosjean going slightly defensive. No, he's actually going for a move on Perez. And that all ends up really awkward for both of us. And Perez again. Come on, man. You are honestly the thorn in my side. He held me up and blocked me ridiculous amounts before the safety car. And after, it's business as usual. We go up the inside. Hopefully, that's the last time we see Perez in this race. But now, we've got a massive gap to claw back to Verstappen, who is in P3 at the moment. And Red Bull, Ricciardo has actually overtaken Hamilton for the lead of this race. I really did not see that coming, because Lewis has amazing straight line speed and still decent pace at this stage of the race. So that was really surprising. But now, we're going to do a job on Max Verstappen around the outside, through to the penultimate corner. Couldn't quite make the move there, so we're going to go up the inside into the final. Oh man, that was so close. But we just get the move done, and that's us up into the podium positions. Toto Wolff is happy. The whole team's ecstatic, because now we're back on the podium, and now we can potentially go for the race victory here. It's now the last lap. How is it the last lap? This race is just absolutely flown by at this stage, but I don't know. We might be running out of time. We've got a lot of fuel to save as well. Still 0.2 down on fuel, so we're going to have to, save a lot in the middle sector if we want to have a go at Lewis Hamilton. We can't save too much because Max is still right behind me and on the soft compound tyres as well. So we've got it all to do here on this last lap. Unfortunately, damn you, Ricciardo. He's probably going to get the win today. But let's see if we can still get our teammate Lewis Hamilton. Still running in lean. Lewis is going to be very weak off of this next corner here, and we're going to make the most of that. Look at that, very conservative, and look at the traction on the exit. We're going to go up the inside again, the same overtaking spot that we did to Max Verstappen. It's side by side for the two teammates, and we just get him at the final corner. But now we've got to make sure we don't run out of fuel. It's going to be line ball here between the two of us. Max might even get Hamilton for the podium as well, but I think we have just recovered enough fuel just there, and that's second place for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One, and that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes.
What a race that was. It might be suffice to say that that was probably the best race of the season, and it's come in the form of 100% race. If only there was one more lap in that one. But congrats to Daniel Ricciardo. Here you can see the move that we made on Lewis Hamilton, literally at the final corner. So tight between the two of us. I think there was contact made, and we both threw up the hand in frustration, but got the move done at the very last second, and that puts us in second for the race today. Wow, just absolutely incredible. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 gaming content. In terms of this career mode, there's only one more race, and that's going to be at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I think at that race, we're not going to start from the back. I think we're going to take it as a normal race weekend, because I've heard whispers from you guys in the comments that Abu Dhabi is quite OP for the AI in that racetrack, so we might have a very tough race on our hands against our teammate in that one. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, I wanted to do Brazil and F1 2016 justice by doing a 100% race, and we got treated to a race like that, which I'm really happy we got that kind of race. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the last episode of F1 2016 career mode. That should be coming out, I don't know, maybe in a few days. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.